And of course, that is a story that is forming the basis of our afternoon conversation. And in studio, I have with me four-time Boston Marathon champion, Ndereba, who is also a two-time Olympic silver medalist in the women's marathon. She'll be vying for the executive committee post in the National Olympic Committee. It's very good to have you.
Thank you very much.
You look really nice. I'm used to seeing you in, especially when you're dressed like someone who is running. So it's really nice to see you dressed like this today.
Yes.
So first things first, you're vying for a position in the National Olympic Committee. Tell us more about that.
Yes, I just want to fight for the executive member, as I have been before, and looking forward to work for the sports of this country and see the success. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you're among the team that was unveiled by Paul Tergat, the team he would want to work with, which means that you are supporting him vying for the presidency of the National Olympic Committee. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you think he's able?
Definitely, yes. I believe that he has what it takes. And for him and myself and many others, I believe that we got what it takes, and we understand this better, that whatever an athlete normally go through, because we really want to get this menace off about complaints of the uniforms and bad treatment to the athletes. So we want an organization that is going to respect our athletes, and first priority, they be the center of everything.
And Catherine, you have been in the National Olympic Committee.
Yes.
What has your experience been like working with the current National Olympic Committee?
Okay, I've been a member.
Yes.
But all through, I have noticed that I don't have much of
a voice.
Yes. That's what it has been. And it has been like just a few people's kind of an organization, or when it comes to making of decisions, it's just few individuals.
Mm-hmm. And Catherine, for you, what do you bring on board? What, as a person, what do you bring on board?
As a person, what I bring on board is that, one, it will include of gender, that part of gender, and secondary, I'll be a voice for the athletes, and especially the female athletes. Yes. And
actually, we only have two women in the who are vying for, in Paul Tergat's winning team. We have you, and we have Elena Shiveka from the Kenya Hockey Union. What kind of a conversation have both of you had, especially about women in sports?
Let me tell you, it's not only that we are only two of us, believe you me, that Paul Tergat and his group is somebody who is really going to respect the 1/4 of gender. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we have the elections happening on the 5th of May. Mm-hmm. Currently, what we know is that the current chairman, the legendary Kipchoge Keino, will still be vying for the position of president. Looking at Paul Tergat going against Kipchoge Keino, do you probably see probably a scenario where Kipchoge Keino will probably bow out of the elections?
This is just like any other competition. So Paul is there, he's ready for it, and Muse Kipchoge, he's still there, ready for it. And now what is going to make the difference is just the vote. Yes.
And Catherine, I know you had such a rough time at the Rio Olympic Games, and I think that's the first time that you actually had first-hand experience of what a Kenyan athlete goes through. And there's, to most of the athletes, there's actually almost no pride in donning the national colors during an Olympic competition. Probably just take us through what you think was wrong during the Rio Olympics.
Rin, I really don't normally like to talk about something that is, or a matter of that is in a court. So sometimes I just tend to keep away from it, because now, as much as it is in the court, it all depends on the court decision. So, but all I can say, the planning or the management of the whole team wasn't done the right way. Because now if we talk of now the athletes, there was that much of complaints about their tickets and and also dates of traveling. So something that really also affected myself. Yeah.
And Catherine, you have since been retired. I don't think you've formally made an announcement that you've retired, but you're not in active competition right now. And there are many people who are wondering, where is Catherine these days? What is she doing?
Well, I have not been, I've not announced that I've retired. I have spared that time because I'm going to do it in a style. And at the moment...
By style, do you mean we could actually see you returning to Boston, maybe?
Oh, announcing it in a style, it all depends.
Yeah.
It has got much to say in itself. So I don't want to spill, the beans right now, but you'll get to understand.
Yeah, but just tell us how you're involved in sports right now, because I know you're still in sports.
Yes, I'm still in sports. What I'm doing now, currently, I'm the sports coordinator of the Kenya prisons.
And the prisons team is actually taking part in the volleyball team is taking part in the Africa.
Yes. I'm currently the sports coordinator, and I'm proudly working so hard, looking forward for the success of the team, of the department, because we want to have the prisons team or the prison sports get to a higher level.
And as an athlete, of course, you've always had someone managing you. Now you're the one managing athletes. How is that?
Well, it's kind of amazing. It's kind of quite involving, and it is some work that normally gives me a lot of joy because I have the passion for it. Yes.
And to a question I would have wanted to avoid, but Catherine, many people are going to stone me if I let you out of the studio without bringing up this question. Of course, a very sad turn of events this week where the first ever Olympic champion in marathon, from Kenya, Jemima Sumgong, failed a drug test. What are your feelings? What would you love to say about that?
Well, it's kind of annoying because I was there. I witnessed when she won that gold, and it was quite a special moment for myself because for sure for 2 Olympics, I tried as much as I could to get that gold for our country. But now look, the one who has really made us proud, now she's suffering from doping issues. So it's really hurting and demoralizing. And what I would say is that for each and every athlete, they should make sure that they show up at their places of whereabouts whenever they are needed. Because once you miss that test, there is that kind of a picture or impression that people are going to have, like it's like you're hiding. So if you're hiding, what is that you're hiding? Yes.
And I agree with you. You were there, and you say, the moment that everyone thought was real may actually turn out to be, it was fake. That is, of course, pending the return of the sample B results. But really, it means that focus is now again on Kenya. And today we had Kenyan athletes ruling Rotterdam and Paris. And I know it's under scrutiny. You still hear the commentators bringing up the doping issue.
Yes.
What do you think is the problem? What needs to be done? Who is failing who?
I am telling you, Lynn, we have so much to do in this country. I guess we need somebody who is going to work very closely with the athletes and let them know, yes, after you work so hard, you don't want to cheat. Just go for it. Because Paul Tergat has been there. Myself, I was there.
Yeah, you won 2
Dr.
Olympic
Kipchoge
silvers.
was there, who is the father of athletics, and we never had those issues. So why people try to cheat and having those kind of shortcuts? Yes.
It's definitely sad. And maybe, of course, we have the 2016 Kenya Anti-Doping Agency law that, of course, recommends for jailing of an athlete who violates the doping, the doping laws. Do you think that this could help? Do you think that now it's time for the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya to probably send a message and use Jemima as an example?
May I tell you something? I am not advocating for her to be jailed or anybody else to be jailed, but all I can say, there is no crime, there is no big crime and a small crime. So that we consider it a crime. Why? It's because this name of Kenyan athletics, it has been built for so long. Now look at it like this. They are going to tarnish this name, and it is already tarnished. So I don't know what is going to be. Nobody is going to respect the Kenyan learners anymore.
Pretty sad. Thank you very much, Captain, for speaking to us. And of course, every week, as always, we have the top 5 moments of the week. And Robinson Okenya is here to take us through the top 5 moments of the week. It's been